Ambassador SpaceOper of the crystalline hegemony nervously adjusted their translucent appendages as they floated in the pristine council chamber aboard the neutral station Harmony's Edge. The emergency peace summit had been called after the discovery of a new species, humans, who had somehow managed to develop faster-than-light travel in what the galactic community considered record time. "They're actually coming," whispered Delegate Flurble, their gelatinous form quivering with anxiety. The war species that conquered their own planet. The assembled representatives from 47 different civilizations had spent cycles reviewing the intercepted human transmissions. The reports were disturbing. Humans apparently engaged in something called competitive sports, where they deliberately injured each other for entertainment. They had weapons capable of destroying their entire world and had nearly used them. Most horrifying of all, they kept other species as pets and seemed to enjoy something called horror movies. Captain Sarah Chin stepped through the airlock of the human vessel Endeavour, completely unaware of the terror she was about to unleash. She had been specifically chosen for this historic first contact because of her calm demeanor and extensive diplomatic training. Behind her followed Dr. Marcus Webb, the mission's xenobiologist, and Lieutenant Commander Yuki Tanaka, their cultural liaison. "Remember," Chin whispered to her team, "best behavior. We're representing all of humanity." The moment the humans entered the council chamber, a wave of panic rippled through the assembled delegates. Several species immediately activated their personal shield generators. The ethereal collective's representative actually fainted, or what passed for fainting among energy beings. Chin smiled warmly and raised her hand in what she hoped was a universal gesture of greeting. "Greetings, fellow beings. We come in peace." The translator devices struggled with the concept of peace coming from what appeared to be an apex predator. Humans had forward-facing eyes, a clear sign of a hunting species. Their mouths contained what could only be described as ripping teeth. Most unnervingly, they showed these teeth while claiming to come in peace. They're smiling, SpaceOper transmitted in horror to their colleagues. Their weapon mouths are open and displaying their bone daggers. Dr. Webb, eager to break the ice, approached the nearest delegate, a flower-like being from the Petal Confederation. "What a beautiful species you are," he said enthusiastically. "You remind me of the roses in my garden back home." The Petal delegate recoiled in terror. The human had just admitted to keeping their species in captivity for aesthetic purposes. Lieutenant Commander Tanaka, noticing the tension, tried to lighten the mood. "Don't worry, we don't bite," she said with a chuckle. "Well, not unless you're made of chocolate." The universal translators rendered this as a threat of cannibalism with specific dietary preferences. The situation deteriorated rapidly when Captain Chin mentioned that humans were dying to meet everyone, causing 3 delegates to immediately request emergency evacuation. Dr. Webb's innocent comment about breaking the ice was interpreted as a declaration of intent to shatter the frozen methane beings from Cryos Prime. "We should probably address the elephant in the room," Chin said, trying to tackle the obvious tension head-on. The translator malfunction that followed was legendary. The phrase somehow became, "We should probably address the war beast in the combat chamber," which sent the entire assembly into full panic mode. As alarms blared and delegates fled in every direction, the 3 humans stood bewildered in the center of the now empty chamber. Emergency blast doors sealed the station's critical sections, and several species began broadcasting warnings about the Terran invasion fleet. "Well," Dr. Webb said dryly, "that could have gone better." Captain Chin sighed, watching as the last delegate, a brave little mushroom being, rolled quickly toward the exit. "I suppose we'll have to try again tomorrow. Should we mention that we brought cookies?" Tanaka asked hopefully. Chin decided that might not help their cause. 3 hours later, as the humans sat alone in the abandoned chamber sharing their homemade chocolate chip cookies, emergency broadcasts across the galaxy warned of a new threat. A species so terrifying that their mere presence at a peace summit had caused the greatest diplomatic incident in galactic history. Humanity's reputation as the galaxy's most accidentally intimidating species was firmly established before they even knew there was a galaxy to intimidate.